the Rings of Power's recent amazing debut, which we have another video link is in the video, there comes up the main question that a lot of us have. Who is Meteor Man? And why do we even care who he is? I'll tell you after the credits. And with all things all credits, usual, like, subscribe, hit the watermark in the corner if you're new to the channel. Appreciate it. Either way, let's get into the Rings of Power, Meteor Man. Who is he? What is he about? Why do we even care? The main things that we need to be worried about is, look, this dude fell in a meteor and just absolutely caused havoc and destruction where he landed. He has powers unlike anything we've seen thus far in the Lord of the Rings universe. His natural gifts, what it seems like, are rivaling that of Galadriel in The Hobbit, where she was banishing Sauron all the way back into the east. Like, it's a very, very impressive feat for those that don't know. And it rivals other times where Sauron would literally, in the Lord of the Rings opening scene from Fellowship of the Ring, where he's just swinging his club left and right, and bodies are just flying all over the place. This is the same level kind of feat. He literally just raises his voice and summons a storm that everything becomes big and menacing. But here's the key thing that needs to be talked about when he's doing that. He's using black speech, which is a huge indication as to who this character is. It could even be you. Yeah, I know. I used him for the last video, but look, I got this on Etsy. It's amazing. It's a headphone holder. I'll drop a link if someone says, hey, where'd you get this from Etsy? Because this thing's amazing and I love it. But using black speech like that, when you're trying to do a physically imposing task and show people your ability with magic, that kind of limits the list of who we have. I want this to be Gandalf. I'm going to be absolutely go on record and say I want it to be Gandalf. It would explain why he was so close with hobbits, because hobbits were the first people in the North he got introduced to. You got to really know them. You got to see what their ways of life were like, and you got to see them for who they really were. Like in the beginning, hobbits have been simple, kind people from jump, except for Mava, the one older hobbit chick who's just complaining about everything. Why is she even around? But anyway, I wanted to be Gandalf for those specific reasons, and I'm not entirely certain about the timeline of where this is originally taking place, as there's been several time skips thus far. But getting everything into place for Gandalf's emergence into Middle Earth would be interesting. Another name that does come to mind is Tom Bombadil, and the only thing I can say to discredit everything pertaining to this theory is Tom Bombadil, according to Gandalf, is like one of the oldest things that's ever existed in ever, like the history of Middle Earth. Like in the beginning, there was Tom Bombadil. He was just there. It was like how we viewed Betty White before she passed away. God bless her amazing soul. However, or Betty White, bless herself, something like that. More or less, Tom Bombadil's been there since the beginning. He's in the Alpha. He's the Omega. It's just Tom Bombadil. He's been there. He is just eternal. That is kind of the thing that people hold on to, because Tom Bombadil would have fit into being a man of the forest, a man who wanted peace, but also had the power of, he decided he wanted to take the ring all the way into Mordor and get rid of it. He could have done it. Tom Bombadil was said by J.R. Tolkien to be absolutely impervious to the ring's effect. So he was just like, I don't care about this. Him and Samwise Gamgee are the only two characters that we've known to date to have been said by J.R. Tolkien to be impervious to the ring and its power. Tom Bombadil, being in the middle of nowhere, close to the hobbits, and someone who valued isolation above everything and was trying to get back to something else. That part fits. Huge discredit is the fact that Tom Bombadil is basically eternal. Now, the man that we all saw, you didn't tell me you had another acting credit. In the Rings of Power episode 1, we saw him, his rise of power as Morgoth fell, his favorite general then succeeded to the throne. So you guys kind of realize that Sauron while being badass. Morgoth was that dude. Morgoth is the one that started it all. He's the one who had the couple 100-year war. Sauron was just a great lieutenant of his. And then he inherited the throne, and due to his works with Celebrimbor, who is in the series and has the same vanity that a man has, that he wants the world to remember him long after he's dead for his accomplishments, as opposed to like being like, hey, I was just a good person. But for whatever reason, I don't believe it is him. And the main reason I don't think it is in fact him is Sauron already existed in Middle Earth, so I don't understand why he would need to A, leave Middle Earth for any number of reasons, and B, get reincarnated back into Middle Earth as some dude who arrives in a meteor. And the main reason for him like showing up in a meteor and then spending all this time around the hobbits and being peaceful and being kind and being almost a little slow in certain aspects of not catching on quickly because he does not speak the native tongue of the people. Yeah, that seems kind of altruistic or just anti everything he's about. He's going in the exact wrong direction of what needs to be done. That part kind of discredits for me the fact that the man spoke black speech was something that is worth looking into, but I don't necessarily think it's him. And here's the dark horse candidate that I don't think anybody's talking about, that I want to put a name out there, just kind of see what it is. And then at the very end, I'll say who I genuinely think it is. I want it to be the Witch King of Angmar so badly. The Witch King of Angmar needs to be more delved into how powerful he was, how he went about handling his business, how he became what he was. None of that's been shown on screen, and he's a very, very interesting character because in his prime, he was throwing hands with Gandalf. And like, not only throwing hands with Gandalf, he was beating up on Gandalf pretty bad because we all were there at Osgiliath. Gandalf's staff broken, and Witch King of Angmar was going to kill him. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was brought back just to be a nice accessory piece for his mace. So, the fact he spoke black speech, the fact he showed up the way he did would give some credibility to the fact of, hey, this would be someone that Sauron would try and corrupt. But there are several texts that would probably contradict to this statement that, well, there's several texts that would support this statement, not this theory, that the Witch King was a man who existed for a long time before he got corrupted by the power of the ring. So that would almost discredit him. But the fact that black speech was once again spoken kind of narrows down who it was. The other theory that I didn't have enough space on the thumbnail to put up there is the Mouth of Sauron. The Mouth of Sauron is just a priest of Morgoth who wholly speaks for his master. He's very corrupt. He's very evil, very vile. And we saw him in the Lord of the Rings extended editions for the very final film, Return of the King. He gets beheaded in the end by Aragorn because everyone's like, I'm just tired of dealing with your crap. He doesn't say it that way, but basically like, I'm tired of listening to you talk. Nothing but lies comes out of your mouth. This is a waste of time. However, now the person I genuinely believe this is an unknown character that we haven't seen before. Completely original. Someone with extreme powers. Hell, it could even be one of the blue wizards. So, there was 2 blue wizards, 2 of them, that Gandalf's like, yeah, I know who they were. It was me, Radagast, and Saruman. And then the 2 blue wizards who wandered off in the east and we were never seen from again. This could be one of them showing up at this point in time. Give me your thoughts in the comment section below if you made it to this point. Obviously, hit that subscribe button if you made it to this point. I mean, clearly there was something I was talking about that you were interested in that we at Geek Variants have for you because we're covering this. We're covering House of the Dragons. We're covering She-Hulk. We're covering Harley Quinn. And we have other amazing stuff coming for you guys coming up. And be sure to check out the other videos that we got. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated as always. This is the best series on TV.